You only speak, you're the student, right? Yeah, speaking. You only speak.
Yes.
Ah.
Promise.
Shall we start our class or shall we wait for some time? Why people are very less people are here? Just sit there. Once yes, shall we start or shall we wait for some time now? Where are the people?
Let's start the class, sir.
Yeah,
So
better I
much
start
time.
the class already. 8 minutes we wasted. Let me start the class. Okay, can anyone tell what we have discussed in the last class? Any idea? At least some information. Yeah.
We discussed source of data, sir, last 6.
Very good. Sources of data. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Under that, what we have discussed? What are the
types of data, primary data, secondary data?
That's good. Thank you, Kalyan. Good. Data collection, right? We are in that part now. Yeah, we'll try to finish that block. And this is our 4th class, right? I think 4th or 6th class.
4th, sir.
This is 4th class. Okay, 4th class, and I have 4 more classes. I think so. We'll see that. Yeah, let's get into that part now. I'll share my screen and. So, I think we just started, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we just started that particular unit and started. Yeah, data collection. Let me give you some clarity about this and we'll go for the next purpose. Already we discussed about this editing of data. And because see, the data, when we are using any data in the statistics or in anywhere, we need to edit in a very proper way. Unless, see, if you are collecting the data, if you are taking the opinion from others and you want to give come to a conclusion, we can't take whatever the data that is why, see, today's we are not able to understand whether the collected data is the fake data or original data. That's the problem today, right? And let us say, for example, as I told you in the last class, like one example, one funny example I said, right? Divorces are the example, reason for, marriages are the reasons for the divorce. There is no any, I said, of course, it's not a new thing to understand that, right? When someone gave the answer to one question, like, what is the opinion about the studies in Open University, Ambedkar University? Someone asked like that. You are saying some yes or no answer to that. I'm saying yes and no. Right? Is it a relevant answer it is getting? To the particular question, there must be some particular way of answering to that. And you need to give those options to the student. Right? Then only we can able to understand, okay, we are collecting a good data in order to understand the things. Like for that reason, whatever the things that you need to remove, you need to remove it. And so it is not like you can't add whatever you want to add. Right. And then we need to give some coding. Already we discussed, like, let us say some male and female is there. When Yeah, 1 second. Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, just briefly. Now, coming to the classification part, when you come to this classification part, the data again is classified into the different ways. One is the tabulation, and there is a different process in that. And it should be precise, and in the systematically, you need to present the table in a tabular form. You need to present it. Right. In that, we will use the different kinds of groups in that. And see, it is not like all the data is the same. We need to segregate into the different way based on the demographic factors and based on your questionnaire, whatever you are asking, and you need to get that clarity. For example, there is some cancer patients are there. In that cancer patient, diabetic patients category is different. Okay. And there are some objective on that to condense the mass of the data. The huge amount of data is there. You need to condense it to the less data and bring out the point of similarity, and to give the prominence, right, the important elements, and the drop out unnecessary elements which are there in that, as I told you the previous example. And another one is to present the data in a concise form, in a brief form. You need to present it, and to depict the salient features of the data. This is one of the things. See, in order to understand the people, what data that you are collecting, you need to keep it in a particular form, or you need to keep it in a proper way. Then only you can understand that. Right. And for the prepare the data in the tabulation also, to keep that data in the table form, that you need to do to facilitate the comparison when you are comparing two variables, right? And two cities, or like, for example, two variables, male and female. If you are taking cities, comparing what is the difference between the education sector in Hyderabad or in Bangalore, right? And those kind of, when you're comparing, saving space and time, and to eliminate the unnecessary details in the raw data, etc. All these things are the basics. Now, classification basis in the geographical classification, chronological classification, qualitative classification, and quantitative classification. So these are the things. Right? Geographical, we know that based on the places, and coming to the chronology, based on the years and based on the numbers, whether it is numerical order or it is alphabetic or whatever the order. And qualitative classification, we know that in the education, rural, urban, uneducated, rural, urban, again educated and uneducated, based on the qualitative data. And quantitative based on the number of order, less number to the higher number or from higher number to the less number, right? And tabulation, we know that it refers to the sentence and the paragraph and textual presentation, tabular presentation, and graphical and diagrammatic presentation. These are the three types of presentations that we have, and we need to present in this one. When based on the type of data that you have, you need to present in that. So textual presentation, how the sentence should be, how the paragraph should be, etc. Tabular presentation, it's in the form of tables, right? The table number 1 and this. If you see some articles or some textbooks also, you will see table number 1.1, 1.2. Why is that? To understand it in a very clear way. I think in the last class, we discussed about this, right? And you will see the advantages of this. And classification and the tabulation, classified based on the data. Tabulation, again, based on to present the data, what you have collected in a proper way, right? Next one. See this is one table example for that. Principles of table constructions. These are the principles. Order number we need to give the title for that. And you need to measure the units of the measure. When you are writing some table, a big table, you need to write down what are the things are there in it. And captions you need to give. The row headings you need to give. Body and main frame should be there. And like this, like the notation symbol, like asterisk is, dagger, and etc. like this, right? Types of tables, simple and complex table. This is a very simple table. Really is a number of patients is there, right? General and specific purpose table. And in that different, based on the different, again, content, it will different. See this? Number of infected. In that, who are administered, not administered. Illustration based on this, right? Seriation based on the data, again, it will different. Giving the serials, see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And the next one, unilateral frequency distribution. We know that when we want to create a table, in that table, based on the distribution, how we distribute the data, the frequency distribution. Let us say, we can't take all the individual data. For example, students are there. Number of students are there. When you are collecting the data, you segregate them, right? Between 1 to 5, right? Who got the marks between 60 to 80, 70 to 80, right? In a unilateral way, it is like that. This is, and if you take the opposite to that, this is tally 1, tally bars, like this will take, right? Next one, setting the class limit. See, as we know that this is the class limit, this is the inclusive method. Inclusive method means what? Including 0 and 4. And right? And exclusive method also, it will be there. If I say, and 0 and 5 should be read as 0 and above, but less than 5. Right? And exclusive. That means you will not take the 0 and 5, but it will be between those things, right? Inclusive means 0 and 5 limits will be there. 0 to 4 means this is the inclusive methods and the exclusive methods. Okay, we can also convert this into the inclusive series, the exclusive series, like this. And there are some different variant concepts out there. This is very important thing. Please try to understand. These are the basis for the remaining things, right? Right now, let us see this. Listen to this very carefully. These words are very important in the next stages. Okay, why these are very important means because these technical words. If I say the word variable, what is variable? We need to understand. And I'm talking about the individual series of the last data. You need to understand what is the discrete variable and what is a discrete series. Right? These, even though they're small things, but we need to understand. First, let's try to understand what is a variable. Can anyone tell what is variable? What is the basic meaning of variable? Hello, are they all there? Hello.
Hello.
Anyone is there? Is my voice audible? Yeah, Sunita.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
What is the basic meaning of variable?
A variable can be something whose value keeps on changing, sir.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
not static.
It's not a constant. In simple words, it's not a constant thing. It will keep on changing. It will varies. It will varies. One individual to the another. It's called the variable or a variate. So this word. And generally, we will denote these variables by x, y, z. If I write an equation, 2x plus 3y is equal to 0. Which one is the variable in that? X, y is the variable or the variables. 2 and 3 are the constants, right? That it won't be changed. Right? X, Y, Z. Like for example, weights are there of individuals, individual weights. Right? My weight is different, your weight is variables, weights. Age, it will differ. Marks, it will differ. It is not constant everybody. Now, are you understanding? Weights, let us say I'm taking the different weights of the students. All the weights are okay. All PG diploma are all everybody in this class are only 40 kgs. I cannot tell that. It is varied thing, right? A student is a common thing, but weights will be different, right? Age also will be different. Marks also will be different. At least by months, the age will be different. Marks also. Now, individual series or raw data. A group of single values known as individual series or raw data. A group of single values. For example, marks obtained by 5 students in an examination at this series. It's an individual series or a raw data. Right? It is not mentioning 5 students in an exam, 5275. And simply I'm telling single value, series or a raw data. Now, what is discrete value? If a variable assumes only integral values or fixed intervals, it's called a discrete variable. Number of runs scored by a cricketer, page number of a book, size of the families. It's a discrete. Okay. If when it is integral values, fixed intervals is called the discrete variable. Right? Number of runs scored by a cricketer. I cannot tell that 5.1. Hello? Can I tell? Page number of the book, 5.5. You heard about this page number? No. Size of the families. You can't tell my family size is 4.5. Right? Only you can tell 4, 5. This discrete variable. If the variable assumes only integral values, so a fixed intervals, it is called a discrete variable. Now, discrete series. With the discrete variable is called the series like 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is continuous variable? If the variable can assume any value between two specified limits, it is called a continuous variable. Listen to this. Discrete variable and a fixed number will be there, right? And fixed interval, fixed intervals will be there. And the page number, so continuous variable will be the height of a student, salary of a person. Right, continuous variables. It will two specified limits. It will be there. It is called like okay. Right. Continuous variable is cited. Next, continuous series. Continuous series. 1 second. Just Right. Now, continuous variable, as we told. Now, frequency table. This is also very important. Frequencies, how frequently it is occurring, right? Class intervals 10 to 15, these many, 15 to 20, these many, 20 to 20. And frequency distribution in which feasible values is grouped into classes, first class, second class. For example, according to Croxton and Cowan, frequency distribution is a statistical table which shows the set of distinct values of the variable arranged in an order of magnitude, either individually or on groups, with their corresponding frequencies side by side. This is very important. We need to understand this, right? And then grouped into the classes, observed values which fall into the each class is recorded. When it is between this 10 to 50, it will be recorded. If it is between 15 to 22, if it is a 20 to 25, it will be recorded, right? Right, that distribution will be there in that. Okay. Next, class. What is this class? It is a continuous series. By any two values in a frequency distribution is known as a class, 0 to 10, 10 to 20. The formula to determine the number of classes. Formula to obtain class interval is k is equal to 1 plus 3.2 into this, where k is equal to number of class intervals. See this, how many intervals you have taken. N is the number of observation. And the formula is that to understand this class interval. And there is also limit for the class limits. Like, for example, the boundary limits of the class into which the data are classified is that this is the 10, 0 to 10. Here in this class is 0 to 10, 0 and 10 are the class limits, right? 10 and 20 are the limit. What is class interval? The difference between the lower 0 and 10. That is called the class interval. What is mid value or midpoint? The mean average of the lower and upper limits of a class is known as the mid value or a midpoint of a class. That is the mid value. What is the mid value? Average of the lower and upper limit of a class is called known as the mid value or a midpoint of a class. We know that, for example, 10, 12. What is the mid value? Can anyone tell? Hello, are you all there listening? Mid value of this 10, 12. How you will calculate? Am I audible or are you all there?
15, sir, 15.
Yeah, how you calculate it?
10 plus 20 divided 10 plus 20 by 2.
Very good. 10 plus 20 divided by 2. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the problem of the open-ended classes. There are some problems if you take that open-ended classes in that. We need to understand because, say, for example, less than 5,006 and 5,000 to 6,005, 6,000 to 7,004, 7,000 to 8,003, more than 9,001, right? In this open-ended classes, should be avoided. If open-end classes are given where further mathematical computations are made for such distribution, the problem is that, for example, that is 1,000 is the same magnitude to the open and end classes. If the magnitude of the class interval is not uniform, varying from class to class, then give the magnitude of the second class of the first open-end class. And to the last open-end class, give the magnitude of its proceeding class. If not, if we are not given to that, magnitude means how many are there in that. And there is a problem in that. Okay, you need to give that information accurately. See, now, what is the concept of midpoint? Now only we calculated the starting and ending divided by 2. Because here, the calculate the mid value will be actual lower limit, upper limit. And the assumption that they are spread evenly in the class interval. The mid value is called the mid. You know that? Here and this. See, it is like telling about the average thing, right? Between this and this. And it will also help you to understand the standard deviation. If you observe the standard deviation, you need to find out the average value or the mid value. If you want to understand, say, how it is deviated from the midpoint or the average point is the standard deviation, right? The average point. Now, cumulative frequency distributions also will be there. This is already we know that you learned in some cumulative. This is the cumulative 10 to 40. Next, again 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Like this, the cumulative will be there. Relative frequency. See this? What is the use of this relative frequency? If you take these marks 10 to 40, number of students 5, cumulative 5, and then 5 plus 8, 13, like this, you are getting this. And the relative frequency is 10%. What is the use of this? Can anyone guess? Hello? Say, this is the cumulative frequency. Number of students between 10 to 30, we have 5 students. 40 to 50, we have 8 students. 50 to 60, we have 11 students. Like this, we have this. And if you take the cumulative means what? Ma, are you understanding this? Cumulative means? I'm guessing as if you know these values, this terminology. How to calculate the cumulative frequency? Any idea or shall I tell? Sunita, Kalyan, Vishwant, Abhiram.
Try to remember.
Yeah, Kalyan?
I try to remember cumulative frequency.
Okay, I'll tell you that. See, how to calculate this cumulative frequency. See this. Cumulative means, let us say 5.
5.
Right.
5 plus 8, 13.
Then 5 plus 8
plus 11, 24.
Correct. Okay, thank you, Vishwant. Thank you. Yeah, now see, if you take the frequency, how you will get the cumulative? Cumulative means first you will take the first value 5 and we will take the first value as it is 5 and add to the next marks. 5 plus 8, 13. 13 plus 11,
24.
24. 24 plus 15, 39. And 39 plus 7, 46. 46 plus 4, 50. This is the cumulative frequency. Now, how will you get the relative frequency? This is it. You need to calculate this by the frequency, the percentage of this. How this 5, the percentage. Now you can say like 5 into 50 divided by into 100. Right? If you calculate, I'm just using my mobile calculator here. I can't draw you on it. 5 divided by 10 into 100. What is the 5 in 50? So let us say, what is 10% of 50?
10% or something.
Yeah, correct. See, I am writing 10 here. 13, 16%. 24, 22%.
Sir, 1 second, sir. 1 second, please.
Yeah, got it?
Yes, sir.
How will you calculate? 50. 5 divided by 50. 50 divided by 5. You divide this. This is frequency. 50 by 5. Right? 10%. 50 divided by 30. You just take your mobiles and calculate this and try this. What it is coming? Now you got it? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you will get it. Now, what is cumulative frequency again? You take the first value as first, then add this 10 to 16, 26, right? And then 26 2 plus 22, 48, 48 plus 30, 78, 78 plus 14, 92, 92 plus 8. Right? Now, how to plan the statistical inquiry? Now we need to understand this. When you are getting some inquiry about the statistics, first you write the statement of the problem or the purpose of the survey. What is the statement? Why you want to do that particular survey? Now, up to what extent this survey will be expanded, right? That you need to understand. Now, unit of data collection. From how many people you want to collect the data is the next thing. Right? This is way. Now, in this again, units of collection, units of analysis and interpretation you need to understand. Now, sources of data, already we discussed. There are primary source and secondary source. What is primary source? Can anyone tell? I think last week we discussed. Yes.
Data collected from individual person or any institution.
Lewis. Right. Yes, Emma, tell me what is primary data? Someone said something. Yesterday, I think last week we discussed, no? Okay, simple way, I think in the next chapter, we are going to discuss this very in detail, but I will tell you in a brief way. Primary data means already available data. You can write it down somewhere. First-hand data. If I am talking to someone and taking the information from them face to face, a fresh data, or you can send a surveys, or you can send a questionnaire, you can give a paper to write them, or you interview and take the words fresh data. Right? Today itself, when you are taking, that is called the first data or the primary data. What is secondary data, which is already there in the website, or if it is already there, in already stored somewhere. Let us say, I gathered some information about the Hyderabad city from the politician. You want to use that data for your research. If I already gathered there, and if it is already there, and if I'm using that already gathered data, that is the secondary data. Hello, is it clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir, follow.
Right. Now, method of data collection. There are different ways are there. I think in the next unit, we will see that how you will collect the data is the question. Whether it is use the online surveys, or you want to collect the data directly from there, we want to download. Okay, we'll see the different ways. Now, the choice of frame here, unit in the team frame refers to the listing of all the units in the population. Right here, it is called the sampling frame. The identification of the unit in a population under study is a difficult task, but you need to list the frames. Where no frames exist in a survey will constitute a major part of plan. Right? There must be a various defects will be there. And when you do this framing part, then you can avoid a lot of things when you are doing that. Now, degree of accuracy desired also is another part. Here, in this study, you will get that how much accurately you will get the information of the data. Right? There's miscellaneous considerations, and it should be given in various other matters of that. And in that, you need to think whether it is official, semi-official, or non-official, whether it is confidential or non-confidential. This is very important. When you are giving the information, you need to, for example, if you take any company and if you want to collect the financial information from them, they may not give. Will they give? Will they give their balance sheets? Hello?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. If you want, and if you are take by using some other sources, it should be very confidential. You should tell them that. For example, if you are taking my demographical variables, you want some opinion from it. Let us say Roy sir from some college, Sem-Quantitative college, I'm working as this. You want to know the opinion of online classes. Let us say this one. And if you give the questionnaire like my name, age, salary, and etc., why should I reveal that? Right? If you want that data to be analyzed for that particular purpose, if you are giving, you need to use it confidentially for yourself, and you cannot publish it anywhere. Now, we will generally do the project works in the companies, right? HR, let us say employee satisfaction in, let us say, Dell company. For example, you did a project. Employees are not satisfied. Hello, are you all listening, ma'am? Can you publish the data in the public domain?
No, sir, we can't.
What will happen?
We should
Then
not.
all the Dell
It should be confidential.
it's a confidential thing that you cannot do. There are other things, right? I'm just telling you in a brief way. Now, executing the survey, this is also very important thing. Administrative organization that you need today. Survey means collecting the data from a large population, right? Design the forms in a proper way. Select, train, and supervision of the field investigations, right? You need to do that, select it, train it, and supervision how that investigation is happening. Control over the quality of the field work and field it is also important. Follow up the non-response. You will send a mail or text message to fill the form, your friend. If you're not filling, please let Madam, Akka or Anna or something, call them, follow up our staff. Then you need to process the data and you need to prepare a report from that particular data. Yeah, data and data. This is simply a fact. For the plural for the data is the data. It is what observed, happened, manifested. And for the figure is called that data. For example, data are the related materials, past and present. They are the living stuff with all the relevant emotional and mental signs attached to that. Okay. Information, we know that it is knowledge communicated to that. Data is isolated fact, and etc. We know this basic information. right? Uh, Verbal and non-verbal responses, formal setting. We know this. If you read that, you will understand. Structured, systematic application. Sources of data, I think we already discussed that we need to. Can someone read this? Primary data. See, this already we discussed about this primary and the secondary thing. This is very important thing. Everyone should aware. How many are there now? 8 people are here. Okay. Simply, you need to understand first time investigation from the respondents for the first time. This is very important. Underline that word. This thing. Collected already by some other people or agency for some other purpose. See this, underline this word. That means someone already collected data. If you are using it, it is a secondary data. Secondary. Primary means first time when you are taking the data from the respondent. That is the second. Hello, are you understand now? This one line, not giving you this.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Okay, this is basic. I don't want to spend one time already with this repeated one. Now, primary data, nature, first time already collected. Sources like questionnaire, schedule, interviews. It is like RBI report, statistical reports from the website, here and there. First factor, the time and large amount of funds are required for the collection of the data under this method. Right? The time and funds can be saved under this method, cost factor. You know that this generally for this cost, you need to go there, schedule the time, set up the time, a lot of things you need to do there. But if it is there already website, you download and use it. Execution, it requires some assistance. For example, if you're interviewing employees, you need to take some permission, these. And of course, to use this secondary data also, it required the permission. For example, I did some survey or I did some research and I have a conclusion that online, I did already written an article, already collected information, taken opinion. I kept in my website or somewhere. Can you take it and directly use it? Excuse me, are you all there? Please tell me. I kept in my website. Can you take and directly use it?
Yes, sir. You can.
How come? You don't take my permission, huh? Yes, of course. There are some copyrighted content will be there. If I give it, it's an exclusive thing. You need to take the permission from me and do that. Now, time factor, definitely it will take too much of time and it will take less time. And 12. Next one, reliability and suitability. And this is rulable and the investor himself is collected and this is under the reliable because it is collected from some other purpose. Organization, it requires the elaborate organization. It needs the organization, no need of setup. Precautions, no precautions are required. But if the person is ready to give the information, there is no precaution. But when we are taking that reliability, you need to check. Let us say anyone can keep any information in the website. Can I take and use it that someone said, then can you claim that? No, we need to check that reliability and suitability. Okay. Right, this is about this. These methods we will discuss in the next class. This is important thing. We will discuss about the next class. So, yeah, please, I'm just ending few minutes before now. Hello. will continue tomorrow. Please join with little more time before. Then we can have some time tomorrow. And I request many of the students to join a bit fast. Okay. When is your next class, ma'am?
That is.
Yeah, 2:30, no? I will join. Please wait for the next class. Okay, I'm just leaving. And tomorrow we'll continue the rest of the class.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.